everyone, I'm Jamieleigh and I run the YouTube channel BirdTricks, and today I'm going to be talking about all the products that you want to avoid if you have a pet parrot, all the way from a tiny little budgie up to a big macaw. So I've had pet parrots for about 18 years now. My oldest parrot is around 18. She is a rose-breasted cockatoo. So first of all, who am I? My name is Jamieleigh, and together with my husband Dave, we are professional parrot trainers. We help the average Joe work with their bird and try to live harmoniously in the home with them. We also teach outdoor free flight. We help bird rescues and sanctuaries. We do in-home consultations, master classes where you bring your bird to us to work with. We work with project birds and share their transformations out there. So there's a lot of different aspects to what we do. We also run the website, birdtricks.com, where we offer a lot of awesome high quality products that we've developed from learning what products are not good out there. So let's just jump into my list. It's a short list. I only have about 5 things that I'm going to be focusing on. There's a lot more than that, so if you have other things that you want to add in the comments, please do, and hopefully these comments can just be an array of a resource for you guys of what sort of things to avoid. So let's not overwhelm you. Let's start with number 1. It is the number 1 thing to avoid, and that is a happy hut. A happy hut is a little hut that makes your bird happy, or so everybody will tell you when they're trying to sell it to you. A lot of bird rescues and sanctuaries actually sell these even though they know that they're harmful, because they're big sellers and people can make a lot of profit off of these. Basically what they're also called are snuggle huts. They are normally made out of fabric. It kind of looks like a little triangular tent or hut for your bird. A lot of conure type parrots will sleep in them, and what happens is your bird can become very nesty and hormonal. And when your bird becomes nesty and hormonal, it basically means they become territorial of their space. They can get aggressive. They can start getting possessive over their food and water dishes. They might start attacking whoever's trying to come close to their space or trying to mess with their space. It can be hard to clean your bird's cage, and they're just dangerous because they're made out of fabric, and birds love to chew things because that's just instinctive for them. They're most likely going to sit in there and chew on it. I knew of a person's conure who actually had gotten stuck in there and died. I've heard of a lot of birds who have ingested the fabric and it causes an impaction, and so nothing can pass through their system and they can die from that too. There have been a lot of cases where birds actually undergo surgery to remove all of the fibers that get stuck in there, and they can sometimes survive it, but putting birds under can be pretty risky because they are just so fragile and their respiratory systems are really fragile too. So it's better to just be safe rather than sorry and not use a snuggle hut. 1, it's unnecessary. Birds in the wild are not using fabric snuggle huts, okay? They're either using real life nests, which you don't want to provide because you're not a breeder, or they're just sitting on a tree branch sleeping. So they are totally fine on a perch sleeping in their cage. They do not need any sort of bed. Also, if you need more talking into about this, go ahead and check out some Facebook groups where they specialize in avian veterinary schools and stuff like that. They will show pictures of birds having these surgeries done, and it'll talk you out of it. I've never in my life used a snuggle hut before. Luckily, this was something I heard and knew better right up front, but a lot of people learn the hard way, and it's very, very sad that these things are still on the market. In fact, I would encourage you guys, if you ever see a website or you walk into a store that sells them, educate them and tell them that they should have a sign there educating people why not to buy something like that, or they just shouldn't even offer it. It would be great if this information could reach more people and actually make a bigger difference versus you guys finding this video or a video like it after the fact. Okay, so number 2, since we're pretty close to it, is nesting boxes. If you just have a pet parrot and you are not a professional breeder, you should not be ever supplying your bird with a nesting box. First of all, they're probably going to use it. If they don't use it how they're actually intended by having babies, they're going to use it in the way of getting territorial and aggressive. So the reason that we don't want birds to become nesty in captivity is we can't possibly utilize that, right? So if they do that, now we're going to be dealing with a whole other aspect, and you don't need to be breeding birds. There's already enough birds in sanctuaries and rescues to keep everybody busy. We don't need to be breeding, and if you're not a professional breeder, don't be supplying tools and resources to your bird that are going to probably cause excessive egg laying, which can be very detrimental to their health. So stay away from anything that's nest boxy. That means cardboard boxes, making a box, providing anything that's nest-like. Stay away from it. Even those metal buckets can become very nesty for a lot of birds. Sometimes people do these foraging trays that are basically just a bunch of nesting materials in a tray that inevitably becomes a nest. Snuggling in the blanket can become a nest. Just really think outside the box with this, because it's incredibly dangerous to your bird's health to cause egg laying that can then become excessive egg laying. We need to be really, really mindful with our pet birds. Number 3 to stay away from are mirrors. These are really popular. They also are high profit margin, and people think it's really cute. They think their birds love them because they spend a lot of time with them. And I will tell you right now, a mirror just enables your bird to not only be hormonal, but also to just sit next to it and do nothing else. A mirror is just literally giving your bird something where it won't play with toys anymore. It's not gonna wanna interact with you. It's just going to obsess over the mirror. I know a lot of birds obsess to the point of regurgitating on mirrors. It's just not a good idea. Like, all plastics and stuff like that should be out of the cage anyway. We don't want to be giving plastic toys of any sort, and mirrors really just enable your bird to stop being a bird and to just obsess over the bird in the mirror. So it's a sad thing in my opinion, and I really wish that people would instead interact with your bird, train your bird, teach it some tricks, like have some fun engagement time where you would want to put a mirror. Put a natural parrot toy instead, or a bundle of natural parrot toys. I love bundling mine together to offer my bird a lot of variety. We have tiny toys specially made for tiny birds like budgies, and these are a great alternative to mirrors because they're engaging, enriching, your bird can destroy them, and that means they can get new ones next time. So this is a really fun way to get your bird active, not only physically with his or her beak, but also in his or her mind. Other alternatives to mirrors is pretty much any form of enrichment that you can think of, offering little wet grasses, different ways of bathing, different areas to fly in. Think of ways to get your bird to be more active versus just sitting in front of a mirror all day. On top of that is the act of foraging, and this is where a bird is looking for something and trying to get it out of that place. Foraging is great utilized with toys and different types of things. It doesn't have to be incredibly complicated. You could use a little piece of paper, put a treat in it, roll it up, and hand that to your bird to play with. So enrichment comes in all shapes and sizes and is available for all different types of budgets too. There's a lot of different options before just going to a mirror, and I don't think a mirror should be an option for anyone or any bird. Number 4 is grit. Some birds need grit, but not parrots. Parrots do not need grit to digest their food, so don't supply it for your bird. You're going to be doing more harm than good. So do your research on the type of bird that you're getting, and if it's a parrot species, leave grit out of it. Number 5 is commercial seed mix. This is seed mix that often has different colors used in it, has usually low quality ingredients, and there's a lot of holes or empty shells at the bottom of the bag. It can be very, very dry. It's just not high quality, and there's better things that you can be doing for your bird. I have 2 different free recipes for seed mixes. They're actually seed and grain mixes. They're homemade, and they're human grade grain and seed mixes. So really amazing quality, will do much better by your bird and can make up about 10% of your bird's diet, but is really helpful in diet conversion. So make sure to check those out here on the channel. You can find those probably in the video description. I will include them for you, but stay away from the commercial seed mixes. They're fatty, they're low quality, and they're gonna cut your bird's lifespan in half when only fed 100% a seed mix. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on the 5 products to avoid with your pet parrot. I hope this is really helpful to you. Again, leave your advice in the comments below about things that you would avoid if you had a pet parrot, or things you wish you would have avoided maybe now that it's after the fact. There's plenty more things on the market that you should be avoiding, and it can be really hard to get this information until after the fact. So hopefully this helps you start off right. If you need more information on how to properly care for your pet parrot, check out the other videos on the channel or visit birdtricks.com.